What's up? What's up? What's up, y'all? It is your girl Candy J coming to you from my office. I'm just sitting in the reception area today, so it looks a little bit different. If this is your first time here, my name is Candy J. I'm a certified clinical sexologist through the Dr. Rachel Institute and the American Colleges of Sexology. I specialize in putting the oohs and the ahs back into your relationship, but I do this by helping you to foster better communication in your relationship. That's what I am all about. I am a premarital counselor, a marriage. A mobile marriage facilitator, a marriage boot camp coach, a sex educator to all ages. But my sweet spot, though, y'all, is those middle school age to young adults, because we definitely skipped a step in our society these days, because all they're learning is from the internet. And a lot of times they're learning the wrong things, right? And I wanted to talk to you guys a little bit about why we get married, right? And I do Christian counseling and I do non-Christian counseling, right? If you know my story, you know that I am a preacher's kid, and I grew up in the church. And one of the things that comes up a lot with my premarital counseling is, why am I getting married? I make them do this exercise, God will use your marriage for a purpose, and He will mold and refine you for His own benefit, and for His glory in marriage. And I'm not gonna get all religious on here because that's not what I do on my live. But I want to talk about, just for a minute, why are you getting married? When you accepted, that ring, however that happened, or if it was just a discussion one day and you guys decided to get married, why are you getting married? Ask it. Turn to your partner if you're watching this with your partner, or pause this video and go ask your partner, why are we getting married? And you know what I want you to do? I want you to do an exercise that I do with my couples. I want you to list 10 firm foundations of building a solid marriage for you guys, whatever that looks like, right? That could be communication, right? Because communication is one of the things that is the downfall of a lot of relationships. I spend a lot of time in premarital counseling building the tools for communication. And that means actively listening, being sympathetic and empathetic to the other person, and knowing what their love language is. I know that love languages is talked about up, down, back, forth, the goods, the bads, but it is a start to where you're understanding what your partner needs. And that's a lot of what people don't realize when they are getting married, that you need to be giving love the way that person wants to receive love, not the way you want to receive. Because here's the thing, if they love you and they listen to you as well, then they're going to give you love the way that you want to receive. But you gotta be reciprocal, right? It's got to be reciprocal. One of my couples, one person, his love language was physical touch and quality time, right? And then hers is acts of service and gifts. So here's the thing, that if she's not giving him the physical touch and quality time, she's also not going to get the acts of service and gifts. You got to give to get a little bit, right? So, over here, physical touch doesn't have to be sex, but it has to be the intimacy part, right? It could be a touch here, a kiss at the door, a hug. It could be cuddling on the couch, putting my feet on your feet, wrapping my feet around your feet, just, stroking your beard as you pass by me, whatever the case may be. Okay, so on the flip side of those things, for her, acts of service was getting my groceries out of the car when I get to the house and not making me do it. Or picking up the kid when you knew I had to go run to the doctor. Or there could be so many things that's an act of service. Sometimes just taking out the trash without me asking is just a form of acts of service. So those are just some of the examples, right? So if you think about a firm foundation, what are we building it on? Are we building it on trust? Are we building it on loyalty? Are we building it on communication? Think about this. What will you receive out of marriage that you couldn't receive by remaining single? Talk to your partner about it, okay? What are the motivating factors here of why we are getting married? Okay. Now, once you have talked about this a little bit, let's talk about some of the reasons why we shouldn't get married. To spite your parents, to get back at your parents. And I know for some people it sounds, juvenile, but there are people that do that. Right. And I don't want to minimize anybody. We don't do judgment, sarcasm, or anything here. I'm just being real. There are real reasons why people get married, and these are some of the reasons why that you should not just be getting married. Like just to fight your parents, nah, that's not cool. Because of your negative self-image. Marrying your fiance will make you feel worthwhile and give you some meaning to your life. That means that you need to work on yourself first before you ever think about marrying someone else. Okay. And being kind to yourself and your self-image and your self-esteem should not be the reason why you're getting married. Oh, because that person boosts your self-esteem, right? To be a therapist or a counselor to your fiance, don't try to fix them. Okay, leave that up to the professionals. Okay. And when you go into a relationship trying to, I can fix them, I can make them this, I can make them that. And you, first of all, you're stressing out your own self first, and then who's to say once that person becomes the person that they need to be, that they're either A, going to still be in a space that they want you, or B, you're going to like that new person. Don't go into the marriage trying to just fix them. Now, of course, everybody has a baggage and they have things, right? But I'm not talking about just the baggage. I'm talking about you trying to make a whole overhaul on a man or a woman. Nope. Nope. Let them deal with their big major trauma things and build themselves up before they ever get into a marriage with you. Let's talk about fear of being left out or fear of being single forever. Oh my goodness. Oh, I'm marrying him because I just don't want to be alone. I'm marrying her because I don't want to be by myself. What? No, you have to learn again to love yourself and to be okay being by yourself. And then that other person should add to you and your environment. Absolutely. But not just because you want to be, that's settling, right? Fear of independence. Oh my goodness. I've definitely run into this with a lot of the younger ones that are getting married. I don't have any problems with what age you're getting married at. But when you go straight from your mom and dad's house to living with a man, living with a woman, and because you don't know or fear of being on your own, no, that's not the reason to get married. Okay. Marrying on the rebound. Oh, how many people? Raise your hand. You can raise it in the comments. If you have ever got into a relationship on a rebound and like, oh, okay, my other person, they hurt me. And now you want to ease your pain a little bit and you immediately choose someone else and get into the relationship and you marry that person. These are reasons we are not getting married. Fear of hurting the other person. You're afraid if you don't accept, they're not going to continue on with the relationship. That's not a good reason either. It may just not be your time right now. Okay. To escape an unhappy house. I can think of several stories where people jump into another relationship and that person took them in and gave them shelter and a roof and all of these things. And they took that as, oh yeah, I should get married to that person. No, that's not a good reason. Because you're pregnant. Or your fiance is pregnant. That's not a good reason. If this child was made out of love and you were already headed in that direction, absolutely. But if this child, just came up and, hey, things happen, I understand, right? And you weren't even thinking about marrying this person before, that's not a good reason. And then here's the other reason, and I find this with a lot of Christians, the pregnancy and because we had sex. If you know my story, you know that I preach about or talk about a lot. I'm a preacher's kid and I was just taught, keep your legs closed. Then what? Right? And now that I've had sex with this person, that must be my husband or that must be my wife. Now I need to marry them. Nope. Nope and nope. But a few positive reasons for getting married would be companionship, right? To work together to fulfill your own and your future person's needs. To fulfill sexual needs in the way that God intends you to. If you're a Christian and on that path, or you're any type of religious, most of our religions believe in, fulfilling the sexual needs in God's way, right? Love and an adequate blending of the various types of love, right? Because you are convinced that it is God's will for you to marry that person. Those are great reasons, right, for you to marry, right? And I told you I was only going to go a little biblical, little Christian today. So I just wanted to give you some major reasons why not to get married, but just a few things too, the positive things, right? And so again, this has been your girl, Candy J, your favorite counselor. And listen, make sure that you ring that bell, hit the notifications button, right? So that you can come back and get more mental health tips, more premarital counseling tips, marriage tips, sex education. All of that is on this channel, okay? Have a wonderful Monday, and it's been Marriage Month.